Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Young Community Physicians Forum, organized by the Academic Subcommittee of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka. So for minimum interference, we request all of you to keep your mics muted and to direct your questions to the chat function, and you'll be awarded CPD points for joining the webinar. So please fill in the link appearing in the chat box halfway through the webinar. So today we are exploring the transformative power of artificial intelligence in academic research, a field that is rapidly evolving on how we approach data, analysis, and knowledge creation. So to guide us through this fascinating topic, we have Dr. Supun WIjesinghe, a distinguished expert in the field of AI and in health promotion. So it's my privilege to introduce Dr. Supun WIjesinghe, a highly accomplished consultant in community physician and the head of the Family Health, Nutrition, Communication, and Behavior Research Unit at the Health Promotion Bureau, Sri Lanka. So with extensive expertise in the public health, nutrition, infectious disease and management, and health information systems, Dr. WIjesinghe has led numerous national health initiatives in collaboration with global organizations such as UNICEF, WHO, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So his distinguished career spans over 2 decades, during which he has developed impactful health programs, strategic interventions, and innovative communication campaigns aimed at improving the community health outcomes. So Dr. WIjesinghe, a dedicated academic, is committed to advancing healthcare solutions and mentoring the next generation of healthcare professionals. So he would be sharing his expertise today with us through the Young Community Physicians program in the topic of exploring the role of artificial intelligence in academic research. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. First of all, I would like to thank the college for giving this opportunity to present about artificial intelligence and its role in academic research. So I'll just briefly take you through the AI and how it can be used for academic research. So basically, we'll be discussing a lot about the new tools we can use for academic research. So first of all, I'll give you an overview. What is AI in research? Now, all of us know that AI is revolutionizing the academic research as well as, publication industry through automation and, various insights in discovery of literature. Now, as most of you know, literature review is one of the main things in your research, may it be BSc, MSc, MD, or PhD thesis, that you have to work hard on your literature review and as well as data analysis component. So, AI is one of the tools you can use to improve your workflows and try to develop these, innovative techniques that you can use to improve your writing as well as share it. Okay, so we will look at first of all, see where AI can support your research and how it can be used to improve research and enable data exploration. The thing that we can use. Sorry, I'm just sharing. Okay, great. So, AI can be used to generate hypotheses, and data analysis is one of the components that we usually discuss. Now, why AI matters to students is one of the important questions that most of the academics nowadays are asking. Now, AI tools usually boost the efficiency and innovation in research. I think recent publication, if I'm not mistaken, in Lancet, that they highlight how AI can improve, the efficiency of research and how it can, improve the workflow of a researcher. So maybe a diploma, BSc, MSc, or MD, PhD. It improves your workflows. Workflows are the things that like from literature review to data interpretation, data analysis, and then writing the discussion section and referencing. So you have to manage extensive literature volumes, when you are doing your research. So it's a tedious work that you have to do. So you can use AI to gain insight, and you can use AI to automate your data analysis and visualization. So you can improve your academic writing skills because there are a lot of AI softwares. We will be discussing about the the softwares we can use to improve your writing skills, and you can use AI to generate theories. So all these. Now, one of the few examples I can state in this presentation is Elicit, which I have been using for systematic review. So I will just share how it can be used. Because to go through all these softwares will take a lot of time, but I'll try to take you through few of these softwares which you can use to improve your workflows in your writing research papers and doing thesis. So other things such as connected papers, so the links are given here, so you can use them to identify research trends. So today's objective of the session is to explore the practical application of these tools. So I'll take you through few AI tools which you can use to boost your productivity in writing research, doing research, as well as writing research papers, and how they can be applied. So one of the biggest issues with AI is ethical consideration. So we will be discussing about what are the ethical considerations that we are having in AI, because that is one of the key areas why a lot of people in academic fields are reluctant to use AI. Where's the limit? So where to draw the line? So we will just at the end discuss how ethically AI can be used for your research. Today's objective is to introduce you to a few of the AI tools and discuss about ethical consideration, and talk a little bit about AI-assisted systematic reviews, up and coming field, which is quite popular nowadays. So we will be discussing this. So before moving on to the lecture, we'll just look at the key advantages of AI. Why do we need AI? Because all these things were done manually long time back. So AI actually enhances efficiency, accuracy, and accessibility. Now, if you look at efficiency, the things that we used to do in literature review, we had to read, piles of papers, have loads and loads of papers for to generate your theories. And if you are developing a tool, you have to generate your construct, all these things. But nowadays you can use AI to increase the efficiency. So you can spend minimum time and get a lot of things done fast. So accuracy is the other thing which you have to be mindful. So AI can accurately come up with good theories. If you are talking about literature related to public health, you can just improve the accuracy and accessibility. Most of the AI databases nowadays, we have like over 250 million publications involved. So you have a very vast coverage compared to 10 years ago, where we have to search all these things manually in libraries and repositories in universities. But nowadays accessibility has improved. There are so many AI based search engines which become fast and accessible. Now it's usually like the PubMed and all the others. If they don't have AI interface, very soon they will get outdated. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind. And innovation. So innovation is one of the key areas AI is good at, generating theories. So we discuss about all the things. So it automates the repetitive task, reduce errors usually, and accessibility for everyone. It's widely accessible, and translation features, which is quite common in most of the AI tools. So anybody can access it in their own language. So you can, that is one of the areas that you. And innovation is hypothesis generation is pretty fast with AI-based methodology. Now, if you look at the academic areas of academic research where AI is useful, start from the literature review, because crux of the matter based on in your literature review. So one of the key things you can do using AI is to automate your searching. So, and summarizing, this vast amount of data that you are having as PDS. So probably things that you have saved in your computer. Now, other things are data analysis. So it's quite useful if you are using languages like R. You can use ChatGPT and all to generate prompts. And advanced researchers, you can do hypothesis testing. And the other major advantage is academic writing field. So you have a lot of software which you can use to improve your academic writing. I think now we are getting a lot of publication from developing countries because AI is used, because people are not, when people don't have English as their first language, it's difficult to get published in high impact journals. Now, with AI, you can do a lot. And then research visualization, of course, AI can create charts, graphs, but we have to be mindful about the copyright issues, but still you can do a lot. And the other biggest benefit of AI is usage in systematic reviews. Nowadays, systematic reviews is very fast. Early days, it takes about 6-7 months to complete a review, sometimes years. But nowadays, you can fast track it within 1, 2, 3 months. You can complete a systematic review. So we will look at the software available for you. I think as academic people, a lot of people have joined. I have listed out key softwares that you can use. Now, some of them are paid, but some of them are free. So I'll try to cover as much as possible because I have been experimenting with these softwares for a long time. So I know which softwares works for me as well as which softwares work for people who look for free things, and which softwares work for people who would like to pay for subscriptions. So if you are looking for literature review, I think you can use Semantic Scholar. Now, this is one of the advantages over Google Scholar, because very soon if Google Scholar doesn't come up with the AI-based interface, it's going to be outdated. So Semantic Scholar is a powerful AI tool you can use to discover and summarize and track your citations. So it's highly influential papers is one of the the features it has. So you can select the papers and ask the AI to tag them, and so they will keep on sending similar papers to you to your email. So you don't have to go and search for papers. It will track papers for you. And when somebody upload a paper, it will send you the newest paper. Now, if you are, for example, developing a tool, you are interested in, for example, substance abuse. So you have only literature up to 2023. And you can tag the Semantic Scholar saying influential papers, you tag them. And then if there's a paper pops up by a new group publishing based on the substance abuse, it will automatically be directed to your email saying there is a paper like this, which matching your criteria. So it will be easy for you to discover papers. Now, in good old days, we have to manually search all these things and Google search everything. But now with Semantic Scholar, you can usually tag certain topics. So when a paper pops up, you can give the criteria, language, the methodology, everything. And it will, you can have a weekly feed of new influential papers. You can, the frequency you can decide. So this is something you can use for your literature reviews. Now, for example, if I have started my research, now I am doing in the methods, but I want to know what are the new things that coming when I publish my research back in 2025 or somewhere in 2026. So I have to keep up to date because finally I have to go through the exams and all that. So I need to update myself. So one of the areas you can do with Semantic Scholar is flag your influential papers, and if similar paper comes up, it will automatically be directed to your email or your Semantic Scholar profile. Now, this is free. So Semantic Scholar is one of the free softwares you can use. So if you look at the other softwares like Elicit is one of the pioneers to answer your research questions. Now you can use a conversational language. Now Elicit has a feature where you can type your question and it will come up with similar papers. And it organizes papers for systematic review. So I'll just show you some demonstrations later on, some slides of the demonstrations. So Elicit and Consensus is another software which you can do, but all have a free interface, but you have to pay later on if you really want the improve your number of papers you want to include. Consensus is also one of the good softwares you can use, and so that this is actually paid services, but still if you are really into literature reviews and systematic reviews, I think it's worth that you subscribe to some of this. It's very cheap for number of papers that you can upload. Site is another thing. It is a software where it's useful for keep a track of your library. And the two things I'm going to show you is connected papers and lit map. Now, for example, theory generation, you can use lit map. Connected papers is quite similar, both develop in the same time. So you can have a visual relationship between research papers. I will just show you. And lit maps is one of the popular softwares. If you are looking for a topic and you are searching for similar papers, lit map is a one you can use. Now, if you are talking about systematic reviews, these two softwares are one of the best free alternatives you can have. Ryan is I have been using for past, I think, 4 or 5 years. It is a collaborative platform for systematic reviews. Now, it's very important if you are looking for research in public health and other fields. You can tag and multiple people can go through and highlight papers. So Ryan is one of the best softwares you can use for assessment. Now, if you are a little bit of a tech savvy person, AS Review is a very good software. I'll just show you at the end how this can be used, because it's a machine learning algorithm where you put your papers and it will match and pop up similar papers for you to read. Now, systematic review, sometimes you narrow it down to like 1,000 papers. So AS Review, what it does is it has an AI algorithm. When you give the criteria and you select a paper and say, this is the paper I want, this is the paper I want to include, it learns from that paper. So next time you get similar paper, the algorithm picks papers from their 1,000 library or 1,000 odd paper library and only show you the similar ones. So as you move on your systematic review further, you select the papers which are suitable for you. It learns from your selections, and it's a machine learning algorithm. And then you have limited pop-up. So out of 1,000, you could have narrowed down to 20 papers. That is 100% relevant to what you are doing. So this is a good software if you are thinking about very advanced, analytical systematic reviews also. But sometimes for your MDs or PhDs, you need to narrow down your hypothesis and all these things, so you can do it. Now, one of the other areas that you can't ignore is referencing. So I think key referencing softwares you can use, I would prefer Zotero. Now, Mendeley is an open source version. I was one of the first in 2007 when Mendeley was developed. I was one of the first users to develop and comment on Android Mendeley interface. So I was a Mendeley advocate and a certified trainer a long time back, but I have given up on Mendeley when it was acquired by one of the major publishing companies, because Mendeley is really good, but it has a web interface. It's clumsy sometimes, but it has a very good free features. Manages, organizes, and annotate usually papers. And you can do collaborative literature reviews. Of course, you have to pay if you are going to upload more papers, but it's free. But sometimes if you are using the cite while you write feature, it crashes. Now, one of the older versions of Mendeley are really good, but there are problems. Now, Zotero is something, a standalone software which you can use much better than Mendeley if you are talking about literature reviews and referencing softwares. It's quite similar to EndNote, a paid version, which is available for you to subscription basis, but Zotero has all the features of EndNote, and it has a plugin feature where you can download and you can integrate into ChatGPT, which is a little bit technically difficult for a normal person, but you can do it. I have done it, and it's quite useful. So you can chat with your PDFs. But Mendeley does not support all these features, but it support similar to Zotero, it support collaboration. So these are the things that you have to work. Now, If you're looking for simple AI-powered search engines, one of the free ones you can use is Semantic Scholar. Now it summarizes the research papers and the key findings. And one of the important features which I discussed earlier, it keeps a track on influential citation and trends. So you can select four or five papers and tell the AI to look for papers similar to this when they were published. So if they are published in the future, automatically these things get pushed into your emails, and you can do a wonderful things with this one. You don't have to work hard and look into databases because it automatically select. Now this is a good video I have given here, so you can go through this video if you are interested in looking at learning Semantic Scholars fully functional potential. Time is a thing that we are running in a limited it's a since we are having limited time, we will just go through the main features of it. So so it's an important feature. So this is Semantic Scholar interface. Now you can see it's quite similar to Google Scholar and all this embed, PubMed and all the interfaces. Now what you have to do is you have to, at the top of your right-hand side, you have to create a free account. It's total 100% free, and it lists like, 222 million papers for you. So I think most of the papers are indexed here. So you can easily go. Once you log in, you will be directed to a sort of a field like this. Now here you can upload your own papers, or you can search papers and tag. Now here I have done a study of 33 papers which I have selected for a systematic review, and I have tagged all 33 papers as influential papers. Now what this does is it select all these papers similar to what I have selected, and add to my library or database. So this is done automatically. You don't have to worry about anything. And you can click the research feed feature at the top right hand corner. So it will feed you to your email, and you can set it by weekly, by monthly, etc. So you can keep on adding papers to your library. So your library is getting expanded automatically by artificial intelligence. So if the paper is not relevant to you, you can omit it and make it uninfluential. So automatically the papers will drop off after that. So this is something we did, a quality improvement project, one of the reviews we have done long time back. So here you can see how we have selected these influential papers. This is actually from 33 selected papers. So if a similar paper pops up in other 2-3 years time, it will automatically be added to my library. Now you can select papers and do a lot. Now this is a single paper I have selected from my library. You can see it has many features. Now one of the features, the important features you can use, is something called TLDR. Now TLDR, what it means is too short for too long, didn't read, because most of the papers are very big, so you don't read. But what the AI does is it summarizes the paper for you. So it gives you the key findings. So TLDR is too long, didn't read. So AI will summarize that for you. So you can see whether it's relevant for you or not. So if it is relevant for you, you can include it in your library. If it is not, you can just skip it. So that's how you do. It's very easy. So you don't have to go through the whole paper and read and try to find out all these things. Now, Elicit is another software which is a paid service, not free, but it's very impactful for in systematic reviews. Now, if you are searching for literature, Elicit gives you AI-based algorithm. It generates structures and answers to a complex research question. For example, if you want to do research on gender-based violence, it will, if you type gender-based violence or various topics, it will select the papers for you based on your search query. And you can summarize the findings from multiple papers, and you can organize it. Now, this is the Elicit interface. Again, it's a paid service, but you have about 5,000 credits you can use. If you to top right hand corner, you can sign up for it freely. Now this is something we did. I extracted 33 papers similar to my Semantic Scholar, and I asked the questions. So you can ask questions from your library. So it's very easy. Now, when you ask questions, it will automatically select papers and list them in your library. Now, these 3 papers on maternal anxiety, which I have done a collaborative research with some researchers. So you can see it select the papers. Once you select the papers, you can do is add columns. Now, add columns, you have various column headings. One is summary, one is result, one is conclusion, one is methods. If you add columns, keep on adding columns, it will summarize all for you. So you don't have to worry. You just keep on adding columns. Up to 5 columns, I think it's free, but after 5, you have to pay. So be mindful of these 5, the thing, and you can export it to a CSV file. So every research, I mean, do your research for you. I mean, AI does the research for you. So you don't have to read all this. And if you look at the summary, you can get a very good idea about all the papers. So now, good old days, you have to read all these papers and go through all these papers to find out. Now, if a person interested in developing a systematic review table, you can easily develop a table using this. So it's a very advanced software. You can use it free of charge. Now, consensus is another similar thing. The advantage of using consensus is that you can use ChatGPT. It's a plugin. So ChatGPT plugin is there in consensus. You can chat with papers. Now, these papers, you won't, in a consensus and semantic scholar, won't allow you to chat with your papers. Now, consensus is a thing you can ask questions about papers. Now, for example, you don't like to read all the papers. You select several papers and say, what does it say about domestic violence? So it will give you this study has found this and all these things. So you don't have to read all these 4, 5 papers. It will always search for you. Now, one of the advantages of consensus and elicit, it reads the tables also. Now, semantic scholar and all, it doesn't read tables. Now, these are paid services. So you can extract data from the tables. If the data, like for example, you want to find about standard deviation for something, it is in the table. Now, if it is not given in the text, semantic scholar and all the others won't give you the standard deviation. This is important for finding cutoff values. For example, if you are developing a tool. Now, consensus and elicit will extract that from the tables. So that is one of the advantages you are having by using this software. So you can easily get all this data extracted from the tables, figures, and everything using this software. Now, connected papers and lit maps are softwares you can use to develop a hypothesis. Now, these are similar to previous ones, but they have different features. So they actually let you visualize the relationship between papers. Now, the previous ones you have to upload and it won't give you a visual feature. Now, this connected papers other one is lit maps, which is again free one. You can use up to a certain level. So you can use it as a literature mapping. Now, if you are, for example, if you are developing a hypothesis, now this is the lit map interface. You can use it free. So you can create a login. And then once you develop that, you can put a salient paper. Now, this is a paper your study is based on. For example, let's say somebody in 2002 has developed a tool and you are going to develop a similar tool. So when you plug in that paper, it will list out all the connected papers to that one. So all the published papers related to that study. So you can very easily go through papers. You don't have to find papers and all the domains related ones, etc. So one key paper you can upload here and search all the linked papers. Now this is good for generation of new theories, new literature. So you can very fast track your introduction and background section of a research paper or your thesis. So you can easily write it in a very faster way by using these things. So this is again, when you dig deep, you can select other connections. So like that, you can develop your thesis or your research based on all this. So you can go through all these links and find out about papers. So this is something you can use for your literature review, because most of us are struggling when you are doing, a research, even maybe a PhD, MHD, MD level, or maybe a basic research for you, you can fast track and write your literature review using these techniques. Now, this is for advanced users who are thinking of the systematic reviews. We have Ryan and AS review and Covidence. Now, these are the things we use for systematic reviews. Now, Covidence is a paid one, but Ryan is a collaborative free tool. So you enable systematic reviews and organize and tag papers. Again, you can use Ryan for literature reviews also. Now, for example, we have done this long time back. Now, Covidence is the world's #1 systematic reviews tool, as said by its size, but the problem is the pricing. So it's beyond our reach. So it doesn't give you a free subscription. You can see no free subscription. So I don't you practically advise people to use it. I mean, paying $289 for this is not that good, and it is not for developing country people, and it's very expensive. So I don't prescribe, although it says #1, but Ryan is free. Now this video gives you all the features of Ryan. Now what Ryan does is, it's free. I have been using it for 4 years. So it will give you an interface like this, pretty similar to Covidence. So you can select papers. Now these are 3 reviews we have done long time back. One is on impact on COVID vaccine in athletes. One of the reviews we did, but unfortunately we couldn't complete it. So Ryan collaboratively, I think 4 people were working with the systematic review program. So they select papers and say, this is suitable for us, this is suitable for us. Now it is manually you are selecting by the other researchers. So this is an interface you get. Now here you can see articles. We have actually 120 for the first review, second one 268, third one is 830. Now if you are thinking about doing it manually, Ryan is something the best for you. But if you're like selecting the person's collaborators, now these show you the collaborators we had at that time. So they can select papers and they can say, okay, this is the paper I would like to put it in a systematic review. So this is how it works. So Ryan is a free software, but you can upgrade it to a professional level by paying a very small amount, like $8 per month. If you are a student, it goes down to $5. So this is something free, but it has a very very good free stuff even without this $5 subscription. So this is something you can use. Now, even if you don't want to pay anything at all, ACE review is one of the good. And now here, Ryan, you have to manually select the reviewers and all that. But what ACE review does is, it uses machine learning algorithm. So it has an AI interface. So focus on most relevant papers for you and keep on popping up these papers. If you put like 100 papers, it will select. Now, for example, previous one we had 120 papers. I have to divide that into 40 papers for each participant. So the problem is, some of them are not available to review, some of them are busy, some are all that. But if you use ACE review, it will automatically, AI will select papers for you. So it's based on Python and open source software. So this is ACE review. It has version 1.5 is out. So you can read about this one because we have limited time to discuss about individual software features. But this is a very good software if you are into this. This is a Netherlands open source free software. You can download it and do a lot of reviews. Now, if you're talking about referencing software, like I mentioned earlier, Sotero would be the best for you. So it organizes all the PDFs in one place, and it has an AI interface which you can use as a plugin. And version 7 is very, very good. So this is one of the leading free referencing softwares you can use. So there are other ones like Mendeley. Now this is a Sotero one. You can go to this site and download it. Now Mendeley is also good, but the development wise, I think this is not open source at all. It is Wiley publishers has Elsewhere has taken over. I think Elsewhere is the owner of this. But I think it has a Word plugin. All have two softwares has site while you write features, so you can use it. But Zotero has a AI plugin, so you can use AI to chat with your PDFs, but Mendeley does not support that. And a similar software is available in Note, which is a subscription based, very expensive. And there are other versions like RefWorks and all these Paperpile and all the online ones, which you can use. Now we will move on to the challenges. Now, navigating AI's challenges is crucial for responsible research. Now, you can't use ChatGPT to come up with a whole paper, which is not ethical because it will be flagged down. So I will just show you how it will be flagged down in the future if you are using. So there are potential ethical concerns and over-reliance on AI. So you can't use AI to totally generate your thesis. It will generate, mind you, but it will be flagged down in Turnitin software. So you can't use AI to write, but you can use AI to develop your concept. And there are bias and algorithms impacting research. For example, if what sort of AI plugin you are using, it's different. For example, we have ChatGPT-1, now we have GPT-3, you have GPT-4.0, 4.0, and then you have GPT-4 mini, GPT 3.5, and then you have a whole load of GPT softwares from large language models from Google, which has Sonnet, Claude, and Bard, and all these things. So they have a very large library there. And then you have separate ones like Mistral, and then Facebook has their own, like Meta has their own large language model. And then you have other things like Bloom. Bloom is from Hugging Face, another AI developer. So you have various language models. Now, depending on which language model you are using, you will get a bias picture, because bias in the sense they will only include certain number of papers of a certain publisher. So that is the biggest issue for you, because if your literature review doesn't cover every portal or every search engine, it will only give a partial picture of what is there. And the other problems of these GPTs, it will generate false references, like fake references. It will very nicely give a DOI and all that. So you will include it, and then the journal will reject your paper and saying all these references cannot be found. So these references are fake, because it will generate fake references. So these are the problems you are having. So a lot of known issues in AI in scientific publishing. Now, if you look at ethical standards, you can use AI. Don't worry about it. So we have done a paper on this, artificial intelligence and scientific publishing. It's given at the bottom link, so you can download it if you are interested. Where should we draw the line? So accountability is an issue. Originality. Some journals think AI is totally out. For example, one of the journals from Springer Nature said AI should never be used, but that is a very negative or pessimistic view of AI, because I have been one of the people who first thought AI should never come to academic industry, academic publishing, and academia. But now I'm a change. I'm a convert, because I think AI has a huge role in academia, because I think people will anyway generate papers using AI. So only thing is you have to have a responsibility to generate it correctly. So this is the thing that you have to work hard. Accountability issues. Now we have authors who take accountability for what they are writing. If you use it AI or ChatGPT to draft a paper, nobody is accountable. And accuracy problems. Earliest GPT models have big issues because they generate fake references. So this is false referencing is one of the biggest issues. Even now, the major models, GPT-4, GPT-4.0, will generate false references. So it will give you a nice introduction with all the false references. And when you publish it submit it to a journal, it will give you a very zero score, reject your article. And some journals are categorizing AI generated text as image unethical because copyright issues. So all co-authors are will be accepted. Like, for example, one of the few mistakes one of the journals did, they accepted AI, ChatGPT as a co-author. So that was publicized widely, and there was ethical and legal challenges. So we have big ethical and legal challenges. So copyright is one of the issues that so AI cannot author a copyrighted material, because copyright is that you give it to a person, not to a system or AI-based software. So copyright is a biggest issue that AI cannot be authors in articles. And editorial politics. Certain science journals prohibit AI as co-authors. I think all the journals now prohibit AI as co-authors because some of the writers, authors put AI as co-authors. You can't use that. There's a legal and editorial framework that you have to. So transparency is one of the things. You write, I have used AI for my concept development in the literature review and background. Like that you can use. I have used AI for analysis of this component. So there are tools that you can use for that. And there are, guidelines like COPE guidelines on AI use and the WAME guidelines, World Association of Medical Records. So there are guidelines. Now, if you are interested, you can go through our work, which we have done about AI and ethical publishing. This is the article, so it's available in JCCPS website. So you can go through it, why AI. Now, if you look at COPE guidelines, it gives you a very good idea about artificial intelligence and authorship. It does not say you cannot use AI for it, but it says how to use AI. So be transparent. So you have to mention in certain sections in your published paper that AI has been used for these areas. Now, this is one of the sites that I would like to point out. This is a COP forum, which we had a big discussion about artificial intelligence and fake papers. Because if you ask ChatGPT to write a paper on domestic abuse or health promotion settings or, quality of life among this one, it will give you a very nice paper. Some of the reference might be true, but it is a fake paper because it has not been given an input from a human. So what to do with these sort of papers? Because we are seeing a lot of fake papers. Now, if you look at certain words used by most of the scientific papers, words like delve, underscore, all these terminologies, if you write a paper using ChatGPT, your del will be there for a long and nonce and all these things. So people easily pick that this is not written by a human. So you have to be mindful when you are using AI. Now, from the side of publishers, they are using AI to detect who has written AI papers, right? So this is something interesting. So AI tools can offer data-driven guidance. Now, people like us, like editors, I have been an editor for 2 journals. I have editorial board for 2 journals. So we can use for peer review. So all these things we can use. So it should not be interchangeable with automation. Now, automation is a different thing. AI thinks and gives answers good, realistic and arguably really a good answer. So if you give rules what to do, it will give you a very good sort of a answer. So AI tools and automation tools are useful in peer reviewing in journal publishing and all these things about academic publishing. However, you need to be transparent. What are the tools you have used? How you have used it? For what sections? What are the checklists and all these things? But you have to be mindful about bias and all these things. So recommendations are made for publishers. Now, these are the core recommendations. Now, we will look at if you are writing AI, what to do about it. If you are writing using AI, what to do? Now, there are several AI detection softwares. Now, if you are academic or if you are a lecturer or if you are working in academia, if you want to know how your students or your juniors have used AI, there are many softwares. Now, this gives a good a list of softwares you can use. Now, GPT-0 is one of the best softwares you can use, and Scribe you can use. Quillbot AI detection, CopyLeaks is another one, and then you have Decopy AI detector, ISGen, and then content detector.ai. Now, why have I have listed? If you are a freebie, you are thinking of using this. Most of them are paid. It gives you a 5,000 word count. But if you have number of softwares, every month you can push here and there and check all these, because one gives a 5,000, you can plug it to the next one and you can get the 10,000, another half of that half, and another 5,000 for a Quillbot, and another 5,000 for CopyLeaks. So like that, you can use multiple, and next month everything gets reset and you can use a fresh 5,000. words. So you can use these softwares to check once, even if you do write it, just check it. I mean, if it is more than 60, 70% AI, it flags. So don't use it. If it is 50% or below, I think that will be a good ground rule. That is okay, because it will not be flags highly. So these things you can use. Now most of the academia use Turnitin and Originality. Now Turnitin is based on Originality AI detection software. Now if you go to the PGIM and all these things, they have Turnitin, and all the universities use Turnitin. So it pretty well. I mean, detection rates are very good. So it detects AI detection really well. So you can use ChatGPT 0 and see what is the percentage it count. But Turnitin and Originality, it's like 90% accuracy is there to detect AI. Now all the other tools have various accuracy levels. Don't take this as a face value. But these are the things that you have. Now GPT-0 detects AI by analyzing the perplexity burstness. So AI write in a certain way. Like I mentioned, certain words are overused, and the way they write is different. So how to use it is, when you write something, use ChatGPT to fine tune it, and then put it in the GPT-0 and see how much AI is there available. So you can use. Now this is GPT-0. You can see, unless you upgrade it, it only gives you 5,000 words. So write something less than 5,000 words, then use your own terms and words and all that, and then cut and paste it here. And then see how much AI is getting flags. Now, for example, if it is above 80%, don't even try to think of submitting it to high impact journals. Definitely they will reject it. So this is something used. Now, for example, this is how GPT-0 will gives you an output. Now it says percentage human, percentage mix, percentage. Now this is 100% AI. So you can see, if I submit this to any, now this is different from plagiarism. Now plagiarism is a different thing. You have a count percentage less than 20%. You have the plagiarism software where we say it's acceptable. Now here it's 100% AI. This will never be accepted at any place, right? Even if it's 20, 30%, that's fine. Like 50%, okay. But if it goes beyond like 50% and above, probably not a great idea to submit it to any journal, right? So you can use it and then change it. So GPT-0 is that you can use and get a feedback by saying how much AI I can use. Now this is Quillbot's feature. So again, you can get about, I think this is like the 3,000 words. 50% of text is likely to be AI generated. Of course, we use some of the AI for this abstract writing. Now this is something real thing we have done. So this is acceptable level, which will not be caught in Turnitin and all the other software. So you can see this is fairly good. But if it is below 30%, that is really good. That means that AI is not 100%. Now, all these AI detections are not 100% accurate. You can have a very good article written without any AI, but still getting flagged like 95% written by AI. So there is a tendency, 5% chance of false positives. So don't worry about it. It depends on, then they will go for another round of reviewers and check like that. So AI detection is, now this is Scribble AI detector, like another one. So this is actually detecting the model loss. So it will say this is from ChatGPT, Gemini, or Copilot based models. So various models are also available. So it detects AI quite good. Now this is the free AI detection model. Again, there's a limit. You have to pay if you are going for a higher word count. So AI detection is available. Now this is the biggest AI detector for most of the academic people. Now this is Turnitin. Now Turnitin use the original, I think it used the Originality AI engine. So it's pretty accurate. So AI checker is really good. Most of the academia use this. So prediction levels are quite, that there is a chance that you get false positives, but predictions are really good. So I think you have to be mindful when you are submitting. So Turnitin does not give you any free credits. So you can't use Turnitin unless you have a paid one. So Turnitin is facilities are given. Even AI one is a separate thing. You don't get it with the Turnitin normal plagiarism check. So you have to pay separately for the AI component. So this is something that most of the universities has invested. So AI checking is going on. So don't think you can write anything with ChatGPT and Google Claude or Sonnet and just submit it as a paper. It won't work. Now Turnitin actually they give sort of a checklist or rubric. Now this given here, how much AI can be accepted. So here you can see misuse checklist or rubric, which you can go through this and see how this is for the people who are submitting their MDs, PhDs, BS, MScs and all that. We value, this is how international universities do this. So this actually says if we can't change the syllabus or assignment, then we mark it as something. And then what sort of a journal limit is there? What sort of a thing? All these things are given in this checklist. So you can see where you fall in this checklist. Based on that, we reject or we accept it. So this is something the Turnitin use. Okay, now coming on to the final slides. Now, recommendation for ethical use of AI. So you have to think about the best practices for integrating AI into research responsibly, because you have to be responsible. You can't just fake your papers and develop fake papers like a paper mills and all this. You have to disclose how you have used AI. You can openly say I have used for construct generation or generation of my theory component in the literature, or you can say I have used ChatGPT for analysis component as a supportive, because we have certain universities accepting people like research buddies. So you can use AI as a research buddy. So this is quite okay for us to use AI. And then use promote tools to detect AI generated contents. Now, for example, Turnitin is being using for most of the universities. So papers are being flagged if they have used. Originality AI is a paid one, very good, but I think you have to pay for a long, but it still detects AI. And you have to update your author guidelines. Now, this is from the side of the publishers. Now, for example, as editors, we have to update our author guidelines and how much AI do we tolerate. For example, if you are talking about responsibility and transparency, you have to mention in the method section how explicitly AI has been used as a tool, whether it's for writing, whether data analysis, content generation, all these theory generation, etc. And then you have to implement policies to discourage AI-generated content without acknowledgement. So some people just use ChatGPT. It's okay for research proposals, all these things, but not good for generating papers. So role of editor in a journal is very important. We have to play a critical role in maintaining research integrity, publication integrity. You have to maintain, detect AI, and address and acknowledge AI-generated contents. If that is not done, we have to flag down papers and promote transparency in AI-assisted research, adopt advanced tools for detecting AI. For example, AI detection software already available. Most of the journals use them. So disclosing for future trends, AI cannot be omitted. If you are in the academic field, you can't just sit under a stone and say, I have not used AI. No, because AI will be dominating our publication industry in the future. So this is something you have to get used to. And the thing is, how to use it responsibly, ethically, is the one that you have to work on. So emerging trends include collaborative platforms, hypothesis generation, AI-driven analysis. I have not talked about AI-driven analysis due to the time constraint. We have AI softwares which will do all the analysis in Python for you. So this is very simple. I don't have time for this, but that is an area which I have not covered. Again, a huge area up and coming, analysis of statistical methods in research using AI. So conclusion, AI is transformative, but responsible use is the key. So you have to maintain the academic integrity, and AI must remain supportive technology with a human input, not a replacement for human authorship. AI authors must take full responsibility for AI generated content, because AI cannot take responsibility for false content. So authors has to say, I have used AI, this is generated from this one, I will take full responsibility for this content. and editorial policies must evolve to address AI generation. Great, thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of the session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Supun WIjesinghe, for your insightful and very thought-provoking presentation. So we will move on to some of the questions which were posted by the participants of this webinar. So lots of them had this dilemma of using this ethical approach and using the AI, especially in their MD and researches done in their professional fields. So they were wondering how they could incorporate, whether there are any platforms that or the wordings that they could use in divulging that they're using AI. And also they wanted to know the ethical dilemmas on not disclosing use of AI during certain parts of the research as well.
Sorry, yeah, thanks. So we have discussed, how AI can be used. So one of the things I can mention is that you can use AI ethically. For example, concept generation. Now, if you give a concept to ChatGPT or Copilot or any of the Sonnet, Mistral, anything, so you can upload papers and generate a concept. So that is not wrong. You can narrow down concept. Now, once you develop the concept, you can write it in your own terms. You can, refine it, fine tune it using AI. So you can use it but in the, method section, you can mention, I have, AI assisted in methodology and all that. So disclosure and transparency is important. If you are going to publish it also, you have to mention, because it's responsibility of the authors to mention that you publish it. But don't use 100% AI generated content. Like for example, so the same thing, if I use it ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo or anything like that, you don't cut and paste the same thing into your thesis or research. So use it responsibly for content generation avenue. And if you are not sure, use the softwares for detection. So because detection is important rather than flagging down at Turnitin when in the university, if you're publishing a paper outside, always use GPT-0 originality or any other software and see how much of it AI can be detected out of what you have written. So that is the other way. So responsible use is something that you have to focus on.
Okay, thank you, sir. And another question that we received is the use of AI in the qualitative data analysis and research. So they were wondering whether they can use artificial intelligence in task writing and recordings in the qualitative research and other aspects that could be used in the qualitative research as well.
A good question. Okay, I have been a qualitative researcher for a long time now. Yes, you can use. Now, for example, qualitative data is based on content and thematic analysis. Now, in good old days, we used to use Atlas TI, one of the softwares. Now, Atlas TI has an AI interface which generate your coding for you. Now, qualitative data, unlike quantitative data, which I didn't have time to discuss, but you need coding. So you have to do open coding, Excel coding, and then you can categorize your codings into themes. So if you are using ChatGPT, you can upload a whole document. I think I have shared that how to do it, the prompts to do it a long time back in my LinkedIn. If you are interested, go to that and find out. So one of the things you can do using ChatGPT is to do open coding. So because open coding, you can generate as much codes as possible, because this will be very tedious process. If you are a qualitative researcher, one of the difficult things to do is coding. So coding can be automated by using any of the software. I think GPT-4 above and Claude and all these latest models like Gemini and all that are really good for open coding. So open coding is you are just generating a list of code. So you can say, do open coding for this transcript, and then do open coding for this document. So number of open codes will be generated. Once you have list of open codes, you have run the same prompt like 4 times and 5 times, it will exhaust. I mean, all the codes will be there. So once you have that, the humans can look at it and then select relevant codes. And then you plug it in and develop your theory based on that. So open coding can be done using AI. And once you do that, we have a feature called automatic transcription. So one of the softwares, I think Liger has automatic transcription, but you have to pay for it unless you are ambassador. But Atlas TI and all the others have paid, like MaxQDA, NVivo has paid AI. Now, automatic transcription, what it does is transcribe your written things automatically, or your audio scripts or your video script automatically into segments. Like, you used to transcribe all these things, so segments. And once you do that, you can easily analyze. So AI can be used for that, because most of the language support is there for GPT-4. If you are interested, you further read about how to do, because a lot of language models support Unicode Sinhala, and Tamil is also there. So Unicode Sinhala and Tamil, you can do open transcription, but some of them are paid services. So that is why it's difficult, but it's not expensive. But what my advice is to get rid of all the nonsense things. Only limit your theory based on your framework. Only upload that part, your relevant discussion, so you can limit the amount that you have to pay. So two things: one is open coding, Excel coding also you can use, but it's not pretty accurate, and transcription for qualitative softwares.
Okay, thank you, sir. And so I would like to make a reminder to the participants to fill in the Google form, which is the latest one, which is published in the chat at 1:05 p.m. And we will move on to the last question of the session. So that is, so the answer is directed as the artificial intelligence offered a lot of potential for predicting and analyzing vast set of data, and also in identifying patterns and trends. And also we provide sort of timely insights given in this sense. So they were asking how we could use this type of analyzing, predicting data using AI in Sri Lankan settings. So what are the modes that we could use?
Again, interesting question. So I didn't cover the components for analysis, because we have a separate list of softwares we can use for AI based analysis. Now all these models are based on a language called Python. Python is the language that they use. They don't use R, Stata, SPSS, scripting language or anything. So Python is a very open format language, open source. It's a really good language. So you can plug in your data. So one of the key things you have to use in uploading data to GPTs and all that large language models is how to upload it, because you can't have missing values. You have to numerate, all these denominators has to be uploaded. And columns, you have to have string values separately, numeric values separately. So usually you have to upload as CSV files. So once you have the CSV file, you have to label your columns properly. And if you do that, if you correctly upload it, Python program language is a very robust language. You can analyze vast amount of data and even use prediction models. Now, one of the prediction models we have used is ARIMA. ARIMA, as well as other prediction models we have used, generally we have analyzed a lot using AI. So we don't have to learn a lot about it, but you should know the basic modalities, like, for example, model fit parameters. All these things you have to know, otherwise you can't understand what the AI is doing. AI can give you a wrong output. So you have only uploaded the raw data. You don't have any idea about model fit parameters. That is garbage in, garbage out. So you have to read about these. So once you read about this, you can get a very good output using AI. And always double check, because AI will give you data analysis for everything, whatever the way you put it. So you have to be mindful. So we usually validate our data with one of the program languages like R or SPSS, and always validate data and see whether the basics are correct. If it is correct, then we go for advanced base level language. At the moment, we don't have very good softwares to do that, but rather than all these GPT formats, but they're really good at programming languages. So that is why it's useful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And before we wind up, I think Dr. Muller has a question. So it's over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Supun. It was an excellent lecture. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
two basic issues coming out. I got it from your. I think that you have partly explained. I have two basic issues. One is this: when you are writing the literature review, the AI give all the references where we tend to put the reference list without reading the actual articles. So that is so up to this point where we have thought that that is unethical. That without referring to the original articles by the author, listing them as references is unethical. That is one issue. Other one is that you talked about the AI use in the systematic reviews. So there normally we says that two independent reviewers to do it separately and then compare the findings, outputs. That is the standard practice to minimize bias and all sort of distortions in the development of systematic review. So when we are using the AI, I thought that both reviewers are going to get something similar. So those are the two issues I thought that maybe important to discuss at this forum.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Murray. I think two pertinent, very important questions. So I'll start with the first one. Yeah. Here's the thing. Now, when you are uploading articles, that will go as a PDF, or you can upload a docs file or Word doc. One of the things that we are looking at is narrow down the amount that we have to do, or the workload. So, like for example, if you have 20 articles, one of the things you can do is use AI summaries. So once you have the summary, you can pick based on the summary and read the relevant article. So you don't have to waste your time on reading unnecessary articles which doesn't have any relevance. So usually we do this by screening the abstract. Now, for example, if you screen the abstract, you can understand is it relevant. If it is not relevant, you manually drop the article. You read another abstract and manually drop it. But this part automation, what AI does, it gives you a summary called TLDR, which is a very short summary. So if you can read the summary and decide whether it's relevant. It's not reading article at all. I mean, you have to read the article. If it is relevant, you have to read and use those articles to generate your theory. So your theories will be not broad, it will be very specific if you go for the TLDR method of reading. So you have to manually read the reference based on that. So only AI does it, automates it, and extract data from it. So the human interaction 100% has to be there. It cannot be 100% AI. So that is the answer for the first one. Now, second one, very important question. Now, systematic reviews, we usually say the consort, we have so many guidelines. So Prisma guidelines and Prisma, they mentioned that 2 reviewers should. Now the advantage is if you are assigning people to review articles, you can have like 100 articles. So one reviewer can have 100 articles, another reviewer can have another 100 articles. So 200 articles for each reviewer. Now you have to go through all the articles. So what AI does is, again, it comes up with the relevant articles. So it's not, you are not 100% omitting these articles. You come up with the most relevant articles. One, you read the relevant articles by extracting the data and trying to match it with your objectives of your systematic review. So AI only automates the part where you have to read unnecessary articles and select it. So what it does, it learns from what you relevant articles and then match it with the other articles. So one way of counteracting this is always cross-check what your AI is giving you. If it is like, you can pick from the rejected articles, you can pick articles and see whether it's relevant. So sample it, like 100 articles, only AI is selecting like 50 odd. Now AS review does it. It does not omit 100 articles. It pops up, this is a relevant article for you. Do you agree? So then you go through that article and see whether it's matching your clinical criteria. If it's matching, you pick it up. If it's not matching, you decline it. It will search for all the articles not relevant and put it at the bottom of the list. It does not delete those things. It put it at the bottom of the list and put the top ones which are matching you. So it's a sort of a learning algorithm. So it's always human interaction. I 100% agree is needed. When what happens is when researchers do 100% depend on AI, and like what you have said, and then forget about the human part of it. So human part is 100% important that you have to do. Thank you so much for raising it. I think it's a really pertinent question.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for those responses, sir. So now I would like to thank Dr. Supun WIjesinghe, the consultant community physician from the Family Health Bureau, for your expertise and valuable perspectives on the role of AI in the academic research. And I'm sure it has provided us with a very deep understanding on its potential and how to transform the research landscape in both the MD and professional research. So we truly appreciate your time and dedication in sharing with the Young Community Physicians Forum. And a little reminder to the participants once again. So if you have any difficulty getting through to the form, please type your name, email address, and contact number to issue the CPD points. And that concludes the Young Community Physicians Forum for this week. So we will keep the link open for some more time. So please take your time, and hoping to see you again in another insightful session. Wishing you a very good day. Thank you.